I happily welcome you all students for the video lecture on the topic Tintin Abbey. In this video lecture, we are going to focus on the topic William Wordsworth, definition of poetry, introduction, themes, explanation and conclusion. First, looking into the biography of the poet, William Wordsworth. He is a famous romantic poet and he belongs to the period between 7th April 1770 to 23rd April 1850. He was a poet laureate from 1843 until his death from pleurisy on 23rd April 1850. One of Wordsworth's most famous poems is Tintin Abbey, which was published along with Coleridge's The Rime of the Ancient Mariner. Wordsworth is a great romantic poet who gave a very beautiful definition of poetry. According to him, poetry is the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. It takes its origin from emotion recollected in tranquility and calls his own poems in the book experimental. Now, looking into the introduction of this poem, before looking into the poem, we should know the background of this Tintin Abbey. So, Wordsworth wrote this Tintin Abbey during the Industrial Revolution. This Industrial Revolution is a period where the economies, which was based on agriculture and handicrafts, completely been changed into the mechanized form. So this period can be called as a transition into a new mechanized society. So this industrial revolution happened when rural areas throughout Europe were being transformed into centers of manufacturing and production. The poem implicitly responds to the industrialization of society by suggesting that urban life is lonely and depleting and that the natural world has a power to restore and nourish the human soul. So powerful is nature, the speaker, that is Wordsworth, argues that even simple memories of time spent in such perfect landscapes can be healing. The poem opens with the speaker's declaration that 5 years have passed since he last visited this location, encountered its peaceful and rural scenery, and heard the murmuring waters of the river. The subject of Tintin Abbey is memory, specifically focusing on childhood memories of communion with natural beauty. So we can come to a decision that this poem, Tintin Abbey, speaks about not only the present but also Wordsworth's past and future. The themes discussed in this poem are the beneficial influence of nature. According to Wordsworth, nature provides the ultimate good influence on the human mind. He praised the power of human mind. At the same time, he also praises childhood, saying that it is a magical, magnificent time of innocence. He believed that there is a divine spirit in nature. He believed that the company of nature gives joy to the human heart and he looked upon nature as a healing force. So not only Wordsworth, even the romantic poets, those who lived during his period, they believed that nature is a one beyond everything in this world. Going into the explanation of this poem, Wordsworth visits the same place, Tintin Abbey, which is located in the bank of River Wye after the gap of 5 years, and the location is in US. He sees the same streams cascading down the cliffs of rocks, making a mild, incessant sound so pleasing to the ears. The steep slopes of the rocks look as majestic as before. The tranquility of the place resonates in his mind in an intriguing manner. The sky is as calm as before. Altogether, the solitude and quietness of the surroundings embalms in his memory. He recites the object he sees again. He's trying to recollect all the effects what he had upon him when he visited the place 5 years before. When he comes across this sycamore tree, he leans against that and looks at the cottage and grounds and the orchard trees whose fruits is still unripe. Then he sees the wreaths of smoke which is rising from cottage chimneys between the trees and imagines that they might rise from the vagrant dwellers in the houseless woods or from the cave of a hermit in the deep forest who lives in the woods. The memory of the woods and cottages offered tranquil restoration to his mind and even affected him when he was not aware of the memory, influencing his deeds of kindness and love. The memory of his past experiences in these surroundings floats over his present view of them, and he feels bittersweet joy in reviving them. That is, Wordsworth feels very happy when he is trying to recollect the memories. At the same time, he regrets that he is not able to enjoy the same childhood experience in the present. He thinks happily his present experience will provide many happy memories for future. The speaker acknowledges that he is different now from how he was in those long ago times. As a boy, he was able to bound over the mountains and streams. In those days, that is, during his childhood days, he says, nature made up his whole world. Nature filled up his life. It was like waterfalls, mountains, and woods gave shape to his passions, his appetites, and love. Here you can say even Wordsworth compares the nature to a food which was able to, that is, which made him to fill his appetite in the future days. Then next he is addressing his that is sister Dorothy as his dearest friend. He speaks about Dorothy's voice and expressive eyes that convey the same charm as they did 5 years ago. In the poem, when you read this poem deeply, you can understand the relationship and the bond of love what he has for his sister Dorothy Wordsworth. Wordsworth reminisces about the way he looked at nature. Then he says that he can see his former self in her sister. He wants his sister to enjoy the same nature what he enjoyed, what he has undergone, saying that the city life is boring. He feels his sister mirrors all that it is good in nature, feels that Dorothy has changed little in the last 5 years and retains her old charm. The speaker knows how corrosive and dull life's day-to-day existence might be, especially in the city. To save Dorothy from such humdrum existence or from the city life or from the busy life you can say, he beseeches nature to shower its bounty on her sister. He wants the moon to light her solitary path, the misty winds from the mountains to blow against her face, etc. He knows these ecstatic experiences will bring bliss and joy to her. These memories to tide over all the difficulties of life like solitude, fear, pain and suffering. So he wants his sister to enjoy the same nature which even if she is unable to visit the place, he wants to share his experiences with his sister so that she will take the memories of Wordsworth even after his death. When death takes him away from her, he wants her to remember him with the help of all the reminiscences about the joy what was given by nature. To conclude with this, with a sense of deep appreciation of his love for nature and his sister, he wants to dedicate his memories of the woods, stream, grazing fields, rocks, etc. to his sister Dorothy so that she could remember him when she gazed at nature. Finally, so in this topic, Tintin Abbey, we have seen the introduction about the poet about the definition what was given by Wordsworth, then the introduction about the poem, explanation of the poem, and that is Wordsworth's love towards nature and also his love towards his sister, and finally we are ending up with the conclusion. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you for patience listening.